All right, so I just want to share with you guys my top 5 things that I've learned since I started vlogging. Now, 1 and 2 are going to go hand in hand, but I put them separately because I feel like it's 2 different topics. But the number 1 thing that I've learned since I started my vlogs is that you have the freedom. You already have the freedom. It's just all in your head. Think about it this way. When you're a kid, right, and you're outside and you're doing something, maybe in the back of your mind, you're like, okay, like, are my parents watching? I don't want to get in trouble. But imagine you know they're not around. They went on a date or something. They went to the movies. They're not at the house. You now know that they're not there. You have the freedom to do whatever you want and you can't get caught. Now, similar to society, if you walk around giving a fuck about what people gotta say or what they think, you're constantly putting yourself in this box. And you're never gonna get out of that comfort zone and do something greater. Because you're gonna care about what these people think and what they're gonna do or what they're gonna say, whatever. So when you erase that from your mind, you already have the freedom to be able to do whatever you want. If you go around thinking about what people are gonna say or what they're gonna do or how they might feel or whatever, you're already limiting yourself to a standard. You're not gonna exceed that because you're policing yourself. So if you go outside of that, who knows what you could achieve, what you could do, what you could feel, what you could experience, etc. So that's why you gotta step out and just isolate yourself from the rest of the world. These people are thinking so much about their own life that even if they do have something to say, by tonight, by next week, next month, whatever, they're gonna forget. There's so much shit that goes on in the world, big topics, huge things, and people forget about it within like a year, you know? You think they're gonna give a shit about one little person that they don't even know? No, they ain't gonna care less. Number 2, now this kind of relates to number 1, is not caring what people think. I don't give a fuck what somebody's got to say to me or what they think about me. I have my circle, I have my people that I care about. Those are the opinions that matter to me. Now, quite honestly, even though they matter, I'm still going to do what's best for me. But to some random person on the street that I don't even know, why should I care what they have to say or what they have to think? It does not affect me at all. And quite honestly, the people who are winning, or I wouldn't even say winning, but are just content with life, optimistic, they're not going to judge you. Because for what? They don't have the energy, they don't have the time to do that shit. People who have shit to do don't have time to worry about someone else and what they're doing and speak their opinion. They know their opinion doesn't matter to someone who's actually trying to do some shit. I was watching this one clip of Togi, I think his name is. I honestly don't know. But the amount of risks and chances that we don't take because we're afraid of what people are going to say or think is ridiculous. Life in itself is a big ass fucking risk. So you might as well try to go for all of it, you know? He said he was telling a friend, like, yo, you guys start posting more on social media, whatever. And the guy said, yeah, but like I'm talking to this girl and she might let me hit. Like what? Honestly, even at that standpoint, there's so much more. Like, you gotta find your values and understand that you're a little ass fish in an enormous ass pond. Like, there are billions of people, and you're just one little minnow in the entire pool. The third thing is that people are gonna look at you. It might not even be for bad reasons. Some people are just genuinely curious, and they want to know, oh, what's he doing? What's he recording? Does he make videos? Is he just recording? They want to know. They're curious. Now, for me personally, I have yet to really speak to somebody who felt ill about it. I have had people ask questions on like, oh, like, is that a camera? Are you recording? What do you record for? Are you content creators? Woo. And they just want answers, you know? I have yet to meet somebody that's actually like negative about it, but quite honestly, I can't wait for that, because that's going to be one hell of an experience. I probably wouldn't do anything. I want to experience that in person, face to face for once. How's it going? And then I guess what I could tie into this one as well is that you will be treated differently. Like I said, I haven't been on the bad side of it, so I'm not quite sure on that end. Well, I guess you could say bad side. For instance, when we did the wine tasting video, the people next to us, maybe they just didn't want to be in the video, but they kept giving us looks and whatnot. Sometimes these things have benefits, you know. I don't know if you've ever been to a Cooper's Hawk wine tasting, but sometimes it can get pretty busy. But with these people either not wanting to be in the video or not wanting to hear us and trying to get away from it, they moved over. So luckily, me and my girlfriend got a couple extra feet of the bar, so that was nice. Another thing is, when we went out to eat one time, the waitress was being really nice. Now, this is all just assumptions. I can't say for sure. But for once, out of all the times I've gone out to eat, she was hands down the best waitress I've ever had. Then as the meal went on, then I started to think, okay, it might be because of the camera. You know, you got to look at it from their shoes. If you walk in with a camera and you're clearly making a video about something, their restaurant, they have no idea how many followers you have, how much of an influence you have, and what you could do to put out there. So I would assume for the most part, they're gonna wanna look good for the camera. But like I said, I have yet to have a very negative experience with people looking at me in public when I vlog. But I know for sure that's gonna be a very interesting moment when that happens. The fourth thing that I've learned since I started doing vlogs, I wouldn't say since I started doing vlogs, I think it's just become more prominent in my mind, but a human's ability to think of something in their head and then create that and make that in their reality is a blessing. You know, like when I make the vlogs and I shoot the videos and I get these clips, in that moment I'm taking that clip, I already know what I'm gonna do with that clip in the future when I edit it and how I want it to look. And then when the time comes and I edit it and I make the video, the final product is exactly how I imagined it. Not exactly, but for the most part, it's what I was trying to go for. And I think constantly doing that, putting in reps in time and time again, of thinking of something and making it a reality is gonna translate to other things in your life. If you wanna be rich and you can see it in your mind, and you know you have the ability to create something, a reality that's from just your brain, that you'll be able to do that. If you see it in here, you can make it your reality. And just like this quote that I heard before, I forgot who said it, but they said, how big would you dream if you knew you couldn't fail? Think about it. If you constantly are doing things that originated in your mind and you made it become a reality, think about how big you would dream if you know you wouldn't fail. If you're just doing shit and you're like, okay, I know if I do this for X period of time, that it will pull through and it will happen. That's gonna build your confidence to be able to just do it. And if you have that confidence and you keep doing rep after rep after rep after rep, it's gonna snowball. It's gonna be a snowball effect. But you gotta stick to it. Just like Andrew Tate had once said. Maybe he got it from someone else, to be honest. But he had said, when a rocket ship's going up into space, it doesn't just stop midway through. It keeps going. If it stops, it's not gonna get into outer space. It's just gonna crash and blow up. So if you wanna escape, you have to move with force. You have to keep pushing up and keep going. You cannot stop. You give up, it's over. And the fifth and final thing, it's not necessarily something I've learned. I guess in a way I've learned how beneficial it would be, but I always thought about how cool it would be to see like what my grandparents were doing when they were 20 years old, or when my parents were 20. What was life like at that time? Not just like pictures and stuff like that. I want to see their life real time, real moments. What were they doing? How did they feel? What they look like? How did they act? All that. Not just when they're 20, but 30s, 40s, like their entire life. What was that looking like? And I think when I have kids and I have grandchildren, or even just for the world, just to be able to share my story and have people see like what I've done with my life and what I'm currently doing with my life and what I plan to do and how that will turn out, and sharing that to the world. I mean, the opportunities are endless. Who knows what that will turn into, Maybe someone gets inspired by one little sentence that I say, and that sparks them into becoming the next Elon Musk. You never know, but being able to take these chances and make that jump, it almost kind of makes me think of that one quote where, I don't know the exact quote, but people always want to say, well, what if it doesn't work out? What if it doesn't? What if it doesn't? But what if it does? Quite honestly, right now, I mean, I have a plan in my mind. How I'm going to get there, I have no fucking clue. But at this point, why not? Why not just try? Because what's the worst that could happen? If I'm already down here, I can't go any further. So why not just be able to do whatever and take the chance of moving up? There was another quote that I heard. I'm not exactly sure who said it. I just hear these quotes from all over the place, but I never write them down. But they had said, broke people always make it seem like they have a lot to lose. You have people with millions, billions of dollars who are taking much bigger risks than your average Joe. I mean, I don't know exactly how many, but you leave it in the comments and let me know. How many fucking rocket ships did Elon put into space that just blew up? And how much did that cost him? How much time, effort, all that stuff did it cost him? But in turn, you learn from it. If you want to be rich, you have to have humility. You can't walk through life trying to be perfect. You need to be authentic, be you. Speak your mind, share it with the world, see what they have to say, connect with people. We're all on this planet, we're all gonna die. We all live the same life, just different problems. Connect with these people, build a relationship with them. That's what this life is about, is having friends, family, connections, relationships, and you don't even have to know them. Even when I go to the gas station, I don't even know the people's names, quite honestly, but I always say hi to them, But I guess I'm kind of going off topic at this point, but I'll end it here because it's the last point I'm trying to make, and I feel like I'm making it right now because I'm just sharing my story and what I do with my life. And yeah, if you're still watching up until this point, I just came up with another thing. So we'll make it 5 plus a bonus. The bonus thing that I've learned is our ability to be comfortable being uncomfortable. If you're constantly putting yourself in uncomfortable and awkward situations, when you do those uncomfortable things, it's going to be so easy to do because you've put yourself out there. You've been humiliated. You have humility. They say if you want to be rich, you have to have the most humility. Because think about it, like the richest people put themselves out there the most. They lay it all out on the line, especially with the authenticity. People always try to play this persona and be a certain type of person. But, you know, when you just you and you're yourself, like, people gravitate towards that energy. And I think it's just going to bring more positive things your way if you just walk through life thinking that, you know, just being you, being free, being authentic, not caring what people have to say is going to bring so much into your life that you'll be so glad that you put yourself out there, you know. But you just have to take that jump. It'll correct itself over time. The first time I vlogged, it was so like cringe to me because the shots I wanted to get, I have to set up the camera, go back, walk past it, go back and grab it, you know, things like this, all in a public setting while people are watching me. And it's so weird, but when you really think about it, like I said before, I'm a small fish in a big pond, and nobody's gonna pay attention to that. They might see it in that moment, but the next day they're gonna forget about it. They have to go to work, they have to do whatever they have to do. They're not gonna be thinking about, oh, that dude who was making a vlog yesterday. They're not gonna care about that. So when it boils down to it, it's literally you against you. Free your mind. Don't let these people make you think that you have to be confined into this little space. Do what you want to do and be unapologetically you.